Hello there. Oh, is my audio working? Hoi hoi hoi. Sorry, I'm a little bit delayed today. I slept in. And I do it again. Yup. If you hear that sound, that's just the kettle boiling. Oh, this is gonna be a one today. Tug is interesting to me, I think. But maybe that's just me. Hello. I don't know how much people that follow me know about Tug. So I don't really know where to start. I guess I'll start the same way that I always do, though. Which is just by looking at their channel. Oh, good morning. Hello. I hope everybody's having a good day. I hope everybody had a good weekend. It's a long weekend here for me. Bonk, crash, bang, boom. Tea almost complete. Is Tug the brother of Rub? I mean, maybe. That would track, I think. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. It's been a weekend. I drank last night. Which is why I slept in. Ha ha ha. Not hungover. Points for me. I hope everybody's been having had a good weekend. It's kind of bright in here. I should do something about that. Hello. Hi. See, it's a little bit bright. It's not even like a bright day, but it's getting ass blasted. I'm just gonna grab my tea. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. It's MOOOnday. Up here in Canada, it's a holiday. Let's do that. That should be good. Oh no, I forgot milk. I'm a fool. I'm a fool! Milk attained. Tea attained. We are ready to go. Let me turn this fan off. I don't want that on. Hello. Hi. Welcome. How many of you know who Tug is? ThatUmbrellaGuy. Sprite soup. Sprite and soup. Blessed be the Sprite and soup. Let's see. Oh my god. Can't even type yet. Whose birthday is it? I swear to god I was yelling about that in the Discord yesterday. I'm like, it's somebody's birthday. Whose birthday am I missing? So this is ThatUmbrellaGuy. I watched a little bit of him during the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, because he got in good on that somehow. I don't know how, but he was like, he seemed like he was getting like insider information, I guess, one or two of the lawyers were talking to him, or he had some kind of PR access of some kind that people were willing to talk to him. He did like one or two interviews. Yeah, their name is actually ThatUmbrellaGuy. Yes, he's based his name and his online identity off of the bad guys, the evil corporation from Resident Evil. Yes. Correct. Correct. C. Yes. Uh-huh. Well, happy birthday to Mr. Serious if I don't get it tomorrow, which I think I will, but I might not. So just in case. So that umbrella is currently sitting at around 391,000 subscribers. And his bio says, Umbrella loves products and comics and anime and manga and family and justice and stuff. Most of all, Umbrella loves you. That Umbrella Guy, aka the Umbrella Man. Yes, correct. The really goddamn stupid one. Yes. Yeah, do not attribute to malice what you can attribute to stupidity is the tagline for the Umbrella Corporation in the game. 100%. So when he was covering Johnny Depp Amber Heard, he tended to get things right, but I noticed that he seemed to get a lot of things right for the wrong reasons. At least what I believe were like not very good reasons in my humble opinion. Hello. So he'd be like, "Oh, well, this is an exaggeration, but just as an example." So this is a paraphrased exaggeration. I don't think he ever actually literally said these words, but it was along the lines of like, well, what's happening to Johnny Depp is happening to a lot of men because women are liars, right? Women just want to take advantage of men, and so that's what right? So that's the kind of, have a good day. So that's the kind of vibe I got from the guy. And I was like, eh. And then he didn't really seem like he went anywhere after that, because he like didn't really talk about anything that I thought was terribly interesting, or I didn't find any of his takes relatively good. So if we check for Vic Mignogna under his tag, right, we've got one from 2 years ago, one from 3 years ago, and then he's got a playlist too. Interesting that all these guys have playlists. He's got one from 3 years ago, but let's take a look at the playlist, shall we? 5 years ago, she attacked me 7 years ago. Marshy accused, should I listen and believe like with Vic Mignogna? Yellow Flash attacked from 5 years ago. Vic Mignogna accusations equal guilt. Real threatens lawsuit and police action as Vic Mignogna is fired. So let's check the date on this one, because I feel like this one is probably not the oldest. Because he's already talking, yeah, look, this halfway. What? Alright, so this one is February 15th of 2019. So again, this is like January, February of 2019 tended to be when this all kind of started. That's when Yellow Flash did his video. That's in and around when Ricada did his video. Let's see this one. Yeah, February 8th. Yeah, I thought so. This one is... The She Attacked Me one is after. So I'm going to go and check these two, because I think these two will be the ones that are more likely to be like the beginning. Yeah, February 10th. All right, yeah. So we'll check these two. So as you can see, that kicking off talking about what is going on, Umbrella Guy is using the Yellow Flash as a jumping off point. As opposed to like coming to the situation, he's using the Yellow Flash as a way to start. And as we saw, we watched what Yellow Flash did. He's lucky he didn't get burned at the stake for mispronouncing yaoi by anime fans. Let's be real, right? You know, right? You guys know what I mean? You know what I mean. Yawo, yayu. Ridiculous. All right, let's turn this up a little bit so you guys can hear it. Let's make sure this is actually going through the... Sorry, don't mind that obnoxious clicking. That is my mouse hitting something. I gotta move that. I'll do it in a minute. There we go. All right. Can't see Tug Life and be like, this is something about masturbation. It's definitely a masturbation joke, for sure. So instead of coming to the situation, addressing it as it is, like Vic Mignogna as it is, it appears, February 8th, February 10th, it appears that he used Yellow Flash, who we covered last week, as the jumping off point. Four years ago, 5 years ago, 5, and then not in the playlist are his most recent 3 and 2 years ago. 3 years ago. 2 years ago. So, I don't know why he stopped putting it in a playlist, but it appears that stopped happening. So let's hit play and see what we got here.
Turn to the wonderful world of anime, and I want to Hey there, so today I want to return to the wonderful world of anime, and I want to talk about Vic Mignogna and some of the things that have been transpiring. Now, when I'm looking at this, I'm not looking to repeat ground that's already been covered. No, I don't need to do that. What I want to talk about is this move toward deplatforming because people stand with Vic. You know, because they've been making videos, because they believe that people should get trial by peers, preponderance of evidence versus trial by media. Now, it's kind of amazing to watch these sides form too, and some of the people that are out there as ringleaders. I mean, when you think about looking at it and you actually look at some of the things that's set up, I marvel at it myself. It feels like a trip under the big top. I mean, you have colorful hair, you know, basically you have bright, shiny flippers, you know, you have all of this stuff that looks like it should come out of a clown car some days. The only difference here is, well, these clowns, they want to destroy. They want to burn down things. And what they're aiming at, they're trying to burn down not just one individual, but any individual that speaks out. This has become par for the course in anything. You know, basically you have sides drawn. One side, you know, they're talking about, again, preponderance of evidence, wanting to weigh things out and actually see what's being said, versus another.
That's not what Yellow Flash did, though, was it? If you remember last week. Last week we watched Yellow Flash demand evidence and ask for citations or you know, pictures or anything. Well, scrolling past it, completely just misrepresenting what people were saying. He brushed one woman off because in her story because he didn't read it. He showed it on screen and then read a little snippet of it and then said, oh, well, she was a Christian who just wanted who got stuff from him. Which wasn't at all what it said. So, no. This is not a one side versus another side where one side just wants to talk about the actual evidence that's going on. This is one side that is talking about the evidence and saying there's evidence that this person is a predator and they are not a safe person to be around, and that needs to be addressed by the people that are hiring him and taking and responsibility and accountability. And the other side is shitting their pants about it. Because they want to be allowed to be predators. They want to be allowed to do whatever they want to do to people. They don't care. So, we talked about that last week. So, ThatUmbrellaGuy is heftily misrepresenting the people he's supporting. Right? Because that's not at all what Yellow Flash said or did. Yellow Flash didn't even pronounce Vic Mignogna's name right. At least ThatUmbrellaGuy pronounced his name right, alright? And I'll give him that much. But, how is this? You want fair and preponderance of evidence, but there's only one side with evidence. The other actually, Vic Mignogna admitted to doing half of this shit in the video that Yellow Flash made. Could Yellow Flash not handle the pushback that he got? He couldn't handle the criticism, and now you had to come out. Is that how that started? Did he come crying to you? I'd believe that. Umbrella Guy. They said I said you, yeah, and now they're all calling me Yahoo Flash. Please, Daddy Tug. Anyway, the thing that's actually on screen, well, Tug is drolling here because he kind of likes to talk like this, so that way you can understand that he is very relaxed, and therefore the things that he's saying are very logical. Very much nothing he said equaled 1 + 1 elephants on the roof have the number of pancakes aliens brought. Anyway, this says, this is from Mars Girl, and it says, if Vic Mignogna would like to publicly disavow members of the alt-right coming to his defense to harass people in a dangerous manner, and I don't mean in a closed room full of fans, but actually publicly, now would be a really good time, #KickVic. And as we know, a lot of right-wing extremists like Vic Mignogna, and Vic Mignogna likes them, as we've seen from Alex Stein. So it's not like what Mars Girl here is saying is not publicly available information. His transphobia, his racism, his homophobia has all come out very, very clearly over the years. So particularly, all of this information was available about Vic Mignogna, but it might not have been as, like, bold-faced as it is now. So it's not like Mars Girl was wrong then either. It's just Tug just doesn't care, I guess. So he's busy jacking off his friend Yellow Flash.
Other side that points the finger and says, how dare you alt-righters try to speak to me? Are you alt-righters? Doesn't matter there. Doesn't matter at all. Because
where did they say that? They said that people on the alt-right coming to his defense to harass people. Not you're alt-right, therefore you're wrong. Alt-right, by the way, is like Nazis. And yes, how dare they? You're a Nazi? Don't speak to me. Don't speak to me. How dare you? How dare you even appear within my presence? You have no rights here. Like, absolutely not. Transphobes? Pfft, get out of here. You got nothing. You have nothing. You have nothing to go on. You're a homophobe? Get out. You're a bigot? You got nothing. You have no leg to stand on. So yes, people who are of the persuasion of the LGBTQ community tend to not want to hang around with people or go to places where people want them to fucking die. Weird, I know, right? How bizarre. Again, he's trying to paint this two sides thing and then having to, like, so heftily bias it to one side that it's like, you want to talk about circus tricks, acrobatics?
if you can become a Nazi, if they can wrap that term around you. Well, semantically, that social lexicon we've been seeing, punch a Nazi, yeah, that allows you to go out and by any means necessary, take someone down. So, what we've been talking about.
Why is he saying it like that? They're talking about Vic not appearing at cons. They're not talking about lynching him. There's also not people talking about asking Vic to control his fan base and being like, hey, if you believe this and you're trying to support me, don't, because X, Y, and for moral integrity, because as we know, Vic Mignogna likes to act as if he's morally superior, or speak as if he's on a moral high ground. And then he's associating with Nazis, or associating with transphobes, or associating with any of these things. But again, we're back to hindsight. Yeah, there are literal Nazis that have supported Vic Mignogna. There's literal Nazis that Vic Mignogna is supporting. We know this. Again, Mars Girl wasn't wrong here. It might not have been as obvious, and so it was easy for someone like Tug to mislead his audience. Does Tug's audience care? Do you guys think? Thanks for the membership. Welcome to Bronze Goblin, Stonebutt. Good to see you. Hi. Needlessly dramatic. I would say not only needlessly dramatic, I would also say dangerously dramatic. He is doing the thing. He's like, oh, you punch a Nazi, it allows you to go out there and by any means take someone down, which is in turn presenting as if somebody's being physically harmed or physically attacked, which is then going to justify the actions taken by his audience. Therefore, he is actually the one doing the thing. Mars Girl didn't say Nazi in that tweet. I said Nazi with hindsight. 5 years later, Tug labels the opponent as violent. That gives him full reign to be violent from the start. And that's what he's doing, right? He's labeling these people as violent towards Vic Mignogna. From what I've seen, I've never seen that. I've never seen anybody. I haven't seen Mars Girl being like, you should, like, unless you're gonna say kick Vic is like to physically kick him when that was never the intention, I feel like you're already grasping at straws. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Here, we're talking about a guy that is basically faced sexual allegations and other allegations in the past, never had any actual sustainable evidence out there. It's basically been...
Nope. There is absolutely sustainable evidence. There are pictures, there is testimony, there are confessions by Vic Mignogna. We covered them last week. They were shown on, guess whose? Yellow Flash's video, Tug. Did you watch Yellow Flash's video, Tug? Did you read what was on the screen, Tug? There is testimony, which is evidence, for somebody who was following, like, for somebody who, like, did so much around the Amber Heard thing. You would think. Whether you like it or not, eyewitness testimony is evidence. Is it the highest? Is it like the greatest? Is it the most valued or trusted source of evidence? No, but you can't pretend it's not evidence. One of the problems that Johnny Depp had with getting Me Too'd is there was literally no one else Me Too'ing him, right? That's not the case with Vic Mignogna. And it was very obvious that Amber Heard was lying, particularly in her testimony. Right? So it's not like testimony is evidence, therefore it's a fact. It is one piece of evidence needed to be presented, and if the testimony is contradictory, then you've got something that you can work with. It's not this black and white simple structure or simple painting that Tug is trying to create. It just doesn't work like that. The court system doesn't work like that. People's understanding of back and forths and conversation and social structure also doesn't work like that. So for him to pretend that that testimony or people coming out and speaking about their experience isn't evidence is a lie. That's just not true. Again, it might not be good enough to convince you, and that's fine. I think that's fair. I think one person's testimony should not be wholly convincing to you, or at least or even convincing enough to at least condemn somebody, right? Because you don't generally condemn someone off of testimony and testimony alone. That's the type of things that gets people lynched. You know, like that woman who testified that black guy assaulted her, and he was like one of the last lynchings that ever happened, or like legal lynchings, I should say. But that's not. That's one of the reasons why you don't go off of a singular person's description of an event or an action. But again, we're also dealing with Vic Mignogna here, where we're not talking about a singular event. We're not talking about a singular action. We're talking about many events over the course of decades, with many people describing the same experience, with other people corroborating that experience, with Vic Mignogna corroborating that experience. Vic Mignogna literally said he did these things. What else do you want? Again, I'm back to asking, I'm gonna ask Tug the exact same question that I asked to Yellow Flash. Does a confession not count as evidence? Because Vic Mignogna confessed more than once. There was the one that we read out that Vic Mignogna posted on his own Facebook, apropos, and then there was his deposition. And in his deposition, he admitted to doing things. So, is a confession evidence?
Been debunked. I mean, these kind of things, I'm not going to go over this again.
Oh, you're not going to go over it? You're not going to retread old ground? You mean like that one female alleges that around the year of 2019, an unnamed voice actor and another man intoxicated her and took her up to the hotel room and raped her? Afterward, this unnamed voice actor told Vic Mignogna that she was a con slut, and that and then at subsequent conventions, Vic Mignogna treated her poorly and sexually assaulted her, yet no criminal charges have been filed against Vic, and Mignogna denies these allegations. You're not going to read that? Why not? It's only February 8th. You're not gonna... Vic Mignogna, the voice of Broly in Dragon Ball Super, has been accused of sexually assaulting women at anime conventions. In the wake of these allegations, a cultural divide has formed that reflects our society as a contrast between #MeToo and #fake news. Such an allegation towards a celebrity may seem like a one-off basis and hard-to-believe story that perhaps is the cost of being famous. However, numerous allegations of sexual assault have shadowed Mignogna's career and continue up to today. During the research for this article, over 100 independent allegations surfaced, dating back to 2003. Why wouldn't you want to read that out, Tug? Is it because it doesn't fit your narrative? It's because it doesn't maybe then if you're gonna do that, why are you even showing it on screen? Your obvious con is obvious, and people bought this shit. People believed this. People still believe this. Like, why would you... Did he get any better? Has Tug gotten better over the years? No. I would pull back from being like, nah, Tug's not. Nah, maybe he got better. Or maybe he, like, didn't, you know... No, because I already did a video where I listened to Tug talking about Nick Rekieta getting arrested, and he presented Child Protective Services and the police as the bad guys in the scenario, and tried to say that, well, the police were wrong. They scared those kids when they rescued them from the situation in which they were testing positive for cocaine. The children. Yeah, Tug, sure. Were you there? Were the police just grabbing kids and throwing them around? Like, okay. Sure. Yeah, alright. No, he got worse. They all got worse. None of these people like this never get better. They only ever get worse.
But you have debunked items, you know, that have pretty much been covered in depth and, well, under scrutiny. They've fallen apart. And then if you look at other allegations out there.
You haven't said anything. He didn't even fucking Bitcoin. He didn't even link the article that he's reading. What article is this? I'll go back to the top. Fixing the Staircase, Vic Mignogna's sexual assault allegations and the voice actor who speak out. Alright. You notice they're talking about allegations? So his presentation of what's even actually being written about isn't true either? Because that's not dramatic enough, right? Vic Mignogna's, Vic Mignogna's sexual assault allegations and voice actors who speak out. I think it's, yeah, I think it's this one. Why does his text look like that? Oh, whatever, here we go. Bonk! It's this one. February 1st, 2019. Ta-da! Cultural context. I mean, like, this is a normal article, but if anybody needs it, it seems normal. It doesn't seem like it's saying anything extra, you know what I mean? It's not doing anything extra and absurd, which admittedly mainstream media can do. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that the mainstream media doesn't blow things out of proportion, but that's exactly what Umbrella Guy's doing here. Hold on, sorry, I gotta put it back. I want to listen to what he said again.
Is basically faced sexual allegations and other allegations in the past, never had any actual sustainable evidence out there. It's basically been debunked. I mean, these kind of things, I'm not going to go over this again, but you have...
It's been debunked, but he's not going to tell you how or in what way. He's just going to say that it's basically been debunked, and he's not going to go over it. So his evidence and his reasoning is trust me, bro.
Debunked items, you know, that have pretty much been covered in depth and, well...
Pretty much been covered in depth? Are you hearing his language? It's pretty much been covered in depth. Well, is it pretty much been covered, meaning not all the way covered, or partly covered, or is it actually covered in full and in depth? Basically debunked, but not actually debunked. Oh, okay. Sustainable evidence? Sustainable in what? At this point, nothing had gone to court. Tell Elmo. Hold on, I got that one. How? Tell Elmo. So I didn't realize that was looping. Tell Elmo! Come on! Explain to Elmo! Don't look at the man behind the curtain. I know, right? Like, the language here. It's pretty much been debunked. Probably. Maybe 100%.
Under scrutiny, they've fallen apart. And then if you look at other allegations out there, I mean, it's kind of insulting when you get down to what's being said. I mean,
It's insulting to be called a rape apologist. Because that's what we called Yellow Flash. I think that's what the conclusion we came to last time, is that Yellow Flash is a rape apologist. Particularly towards minors. Do you think that Umbrella Guy's gonna go down the same road here? This is a lane picking issue. A little bit. Listen, at least it's not CC Suarez and a nose picking issue.
Apart. And then if you look at other allegations out there, I mean, it's kind of insulting when you get down to what's being said.
When you look at other allegations out there, not the ones he's showing on screen, not whatever are in this article, but other allegations that he's just vaguely referencing that we don't know which ones he's talking about. I'm not unreasonable, alright? I'm willing to grant that it is possible and even likely that when a hate train begins for somebody, particularly somebody with some kind of notoriety, which Vic Mignogna had, that perhaps that there are people who jump on that bandwagon and tell untrue stories. It happened with Onision, right? I would not be surprised to find out that one or two of the allegations about Vic Mignogna were not entirely true or weren't true at all, right? But how are you going to delineate which ones there are and which ones there are not, and why does it matter? If there's 10 stories about Vic Mignogna that there are pictures to, that there's corroborating evidence for, that like con staff that Vic Mignogna has admitted to, right? Let's say that you've got these 4 things, and then you've got for these 10 stories, and then you've got 2 stories that are just they're not proven to be definitive bullshit, they're not self-contradictory or anything like that, and they're just unverifiable. You can't put these on weights and pretend they weigh the same. You've got everything you need for 10 of the stories, and you've got 2 stories that you can't really, you're just like, well, that maybe that's true, maybe it's not. You can't pretend that these are the same thing. In trying to pretend that these are the same thing, not only are you being incredibly biased, but you're being dishonest. You're being so biased to the point of dishonesty. So you're lying to protect the predator. So where do we put you on the rape apologist scale? How heavy is your heart?
Said. I mean, here, I'm looking at an article that basically, it's not accusing him of things. It's trying to collect this and to talk about allegations. So, you had a site collected in 2011, and it talks about Vic's horror stories. Those horrors.
It says a site created, not a site collected. As allegations of misconduct or rude behavior have shadowed Mignogna for years. Oh wow, it's almost like every time I say that Mignogna had a shitty reputation, so he couldn't have had his reputation harmed by this, because these allegations existed the entire time, it was accurate. For example, a site was created in 2011 for the explicit purpose of giving a platform for people to complain about him, called Vic Mignogna, Meggnoghna. I don't know if they spelled that wrong on purpose. Horror stories. It ran for 6 years.
Stories are so preposterous. I'd been looking at some of them.
No, they're not. Some of them have literal video that go with them. What are you talking about? That creepy him singing happy birthday in someone's ear. The comment about the Holocaust, he goes around preaching, like, they're not all preposterous. He's admitted to doing some of them. So, like, to continue with what Tug is skipping over here, it says, allegations here and elsewhere included treating staff poorly at conventions. That's been confirmed. Being banned from conventions for preaching his Christian faith at panels, kissing underage girls without their approval or request, which Vic admitted to, saying things to minors that are laced with sexual undertones, which he admitted to, and there's videos of, being homophobic and refusing to sign gay fan art of characters he played, which he's admitted to, making people feel upset for not being Christian, and being anti-Semitic. The more research I perform on Vic, the more stories I read from people who claim to have worked at conventions where he was a nightmare of a guest. Sometimes he'd get banned by the staff, but there were just as many conventions willing to book him and companies willing to hire him. The essential point that each anecdote conveyed was that when the camera is on him, he's one person, and when it's not, he's another. What about any of those things were preposterous, Tug? What did you read? Oh no, my chair. It's stuck. Why can't I close the door? Oh. Are you gonna come in, Stinky? Alright. Sorry, just closing the door. Hi, Puck. Thanks, buddy. Oh, and now you want back out. Of course he does. Of course he does. We stopped the stream for Puck. We stand Puck. Go, Puck. Go. Be free. We all know that Puck is the most important part of everything that ever happens. Alright, so here's the thing. We've got a preponderance. Do you think Tug knows what a preponderance of the evidence is? Because what would 100 stories be? And corroborated stories and pictures and confessions. Would that be a preponderance of the evidence? I think it would be. He complained that the accusations were insulting, as if accusations are not commonly insulting or something. Yeah, right? Insults are a valid social tool. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, if they wanted to argue that, oh, you should be banned from or fired unless it was proven in court, I could potentially respect that, but you aren't. You're okay with that in other situations, just not on this. Yeah, right. Like, here's the thing. Being rude to staff is a reason to get kicked out of a restaurant. Right? It's not like you have to go to court for it. So, like, I don't know what they're suggesting here. Right?
And they were things like, man, this guy, he practices his faith. And, well, he actually preached at his fandom. He was a little bit too Christian for my liking.
Yeah, if you'll notice, what it actually said is, for preaching his Christian faith at panels, and then for making people feel upset for not being Christian. That's not practicing his faith, that's being an asshole. That's using your faith to bully people. That is the definition of forcing your faith and belief onto people. Because if it's at a panel, then people paid to be there, they're already at the panel. And so if people didn't want preaching and wanted to talk about, I don't know, anime at the anime convention, and he starts preaching at a panel, and the other guests are like, what the fuck? And the congoers are like, what the fuck? And the staff are like, what the fuck? It's not appropriate. I'm sorry, just because Vic Mignogna thinks he's allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants, he's not allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants. Your faith isn't an excuse for you to be an asshole to everybody. Sorry. You don't get to force, just like you want to complain that, oh, the liberals have blue hair and they're forcing gender on us. You're literally just excusing somebody forcing their Christian values or their Christianity onto everybody, and you're fine with it. So as long as it's something you agree with, you don't give a shit. Which is funny because that doesn't happen vice versa. Nobody's actually forcing gender on you. If you go to a con that's not a religious con and preach, you can't be shocked when they stop inviting you. Right? Right? Oh, he's not the right kind of Christian. No, it's that he doesn't shut the fuck up. That's insulting. When I say that, like, listen, what he just said is insulting. Not to Christians, not to whatever. It's insulting because, excuse me, he thinks everybody's fucking stupid. Sorry, 1 second. My roommates went to Tim Hortons. I have obtained coffee. This is like the only coffee that I drink, and it's like super French vanilla. It's not even like actual coffee anymore. It's just sugar. Johnny Young Bosch, Caitlin Glass, Morgan Berry are Christians, but they've never done the things that Vic Mignogna has done. Yeah, it's assuming that, like, to be a good Christian, you have to be an asshole and make other people dislike you, right? It's insulting towards Christians, right? It's insulting towards, like, Christians just not, like, being, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's describing Christians as aggressive predators. Like, that all Christians, to be a good Christian or the right kind of Christian, you need to be taking advantage of every situation to preach without other people's consent. Right? I'm at conventions for fun and to escape politics and religion. Right? Like, it's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's like, there is no issue with Vic Mignogna being a Christian. There is an issue with Vic Mignogna being a hypocrite of a Christian. That's something you want to talk about. We can talk about that and be like, okay, well, what are the rules of the Bible? And we can talk about how Vic Mignogna doesn't follow or believe in those things at all. Like, he does not practice what he preaches. He doesn't even try. Like, it's not even like he goes, oh, well, I failed my marriage and divorced because, I fell to sin and that was my mistake. No, he just pretends he lies to people and pretends he wasn't married. Like, While cheating all the time. Like, it's what the fuck? Anyway, nobody cares if he's Christian. Go back. What were you saying?
I'd been looking at some of them, and they were things like, man, this guy, he practices his faith, and well, he actually preached at his fandom. He was a little bit too Christian for my like. What a terrible.
I used a goofy voice and made it sound ridiculous. Same thing that Flash was doing. More subtle, but it's there.
Terrible thing there. Now it says, the way that it's worded, kissing underage girls without their approval or request, that sounds pretty bad. Until you look at what they're talking about. Taking a picture with somebody that's a fan and kissing them on the cheek or the forehead. Yeah, they make it sound like something that is so monstrous here. And yet, when you
Alright, so yeah, we're going full rape apologist. We're going full, Tug is totally fine with adult men kissing children anywhere on their body that's not their mouth, I guess. And, like, genitals, I guess. That makes it okay. Putting your lips on someone who doesn't want it is fucked up every single time. Correct. Hey, Tug, do you think children can consent? The problem is they can't consent to that. They're children. Asshole. They can consent to a picture. They can consent to, like, an arm around the shoulder. They can't consent to you kissing them, you fucking weirdos. Stop touching kids.
Look at what they're really entailing. Yeah, it's something else, isn't it? They say it's saying...
No, it's 100% correct. Bro is literally engaging in apologetics to be like, nah, kids getting kissed is totally fine as long as it's not on the mouth. What the fuck? What the fuck, Tug? Are you serious right now? Is this, again, like I said, we're looking at this with hindsight, right? So we already know that Tug went into apologetics for Nick Rekieta, right? I did a video about that. I think I called it Tug and Nick Rekieta Apologetics. Where we listened to Tug making excuses as to why Rekieta's behavior towards his children is acceptable when those kids were found with cocaine in their system. And that the police were the bad people, and that the nosy people who tattled on him. Bro, you're saying that, like, kissing kids in any context is okay, and trying to say that this article is misrepresenting it when it is being incredibly literal. It didn't give you any extra information. But why do you think suddenly that kissing children who cannot consent in any way is acceptable? Vic isn't their parent, he's not their uncle, and it's not like him being a creepy older uncle would have made anything any better anyway. If these kids are telling you, this man touched me, and I didn't want him to touch me, and he kissed me on the cheek and I didn't like it, how do you react to that kid? Do you tell that kid to piss off? Like, are you serious? Because that's what you're doing. And this is the reason why a lot of women never came forward for years. Or why women did come forward, but the allegations against Vic existed for such a long time, without any consequences.
Things to minors, saying things. Of course, all of this is just happenstance and allegation, but...
No, there's video. There's video of him saying things to minors and saying things in a sexual manner. One of the characters he plays is Tamaki, and he uses that as an excuse, even though Tamaki is not an overtly sexual character, by the way. Anybody who's watched Uran High School Host Club knows that Tamaki is actually incredibly not sexual. He is actually very, like, uncomfortable with sexual behavior. What he is a romanticist. So, like, kissing somebody on the hand, or like getting down on a knee and speaking prose, but not sexual prose. Just benign, oh, you're so beautiful. Like, not, I want to fuck your sister. Like, What are you talking about? What are you even talking about? But Vic would use Tamaki's voice and Tamaki's behavior as an excuse to say far more sexually charged things to children. By the way, cartoon, not real life. Vic Mignogna and a con, real life. Cartoon, acting towards other cartoon, real life. Vic Mignogna, towards children, real life. Context matters. Go figure. You fucking weirdo. Why are you so weird?
It's something else, isn't it? You know, they say saying things to minors. Saying things. Of course, all of this is just happens.
You notice that he doesn't read the other half of what that list says. It says, saying things to minors that are laced with sexual undertones. And he just doesn't read that part. Tug is literally showing it on screen. His mouse cursor is on top of it. His mouse cursor is right there. Saying things to minors. Wow, imagine saying something crazy. What a wacky allegation. It's all just happenstance. Why didn't you read the second half, Tug? Why didn't you read the that are laced with sexual undertones, Tug? It's literally showing on your screen, Tug. What the fuck, Tug? Would you have an issue with it if it was sexual undertones towards children? What the fuck?
Stance and allegation, but when people throw that out there, you're supposed to be willing to burn down people's lives, right? Being homophobic and refusing to sign gay fan art.
How is Vic Mignogna's life being burned down? You mean consequences? You mean people don't want to be around him because he's a creep? Vic Mignogna was... I don't know if this article made it clear. I'll read it again real quick, because guess what? It's still on the screen. Allegations of misconduct or rude behavior have shadowed Mignogna's for years. For years, Vic Mignogna was getting away with this. For years, Vic Mignogna was doing these things. And there were no consequences. Now, there are consequences that he is facing. And he doesn't like that. And the only real, substantial consequence that could, destroy his life was Cons disinviting him and his contract with Funimation. But welcome to what happens if you put all your eggs in the basket and then decide to burn every fucking bridge on the way down. Vic Mignogna could have stopped his behavior at any point in time. He could have changed his attitude at any point in time. He could stop being a dick whenever he wants. He can stop instigating his fans whenever he fucking wants. The reason his career and the reason his, options for work have found themselves limited is the exact same reason Kevin Sorbo has. Because he's kind of an asshole and nobody wants to work with him because he's a self-righteous dick. People don't have to work with Vic Mignogna. Nobody owes him anything. He's not owed work. He's not owed a job. If people don't want to work with him, and he's a danger to the brand, and he is self-destructive at conventions, the conventions don't want to be liable for him. He's a PR fucking nightmare. So even if none of these things were true, even if none of them were true whatsoever, everything that Vic Mignogna has done up until this point has made him unhirable regardless. It's simple as that. Vic doesn't believe anything he's done was wrong. It doesn't help asshats like this blow smoke up his ass. It really does more harm to Vic than good. 100%. One of the reasons why Vic Mignogna is not working is because he admitted to doing it in his little PR fucking thing that he put out on Twitter that we looked up last week when we were watching Yellow Flash. That thing alone made him unhireable. Then. And it only got worse. It only got fucking worse.
part of the characters he played. Somebody brings you something, that's relationshipping, it's basically Tumblr-esque, and you don't want to sign it. So basically the way that they talked about this, they said they brought it to him, he insulted it, they broke down and cried, he was like, he signed it there. Then he tried to placate them by taking a picture. Oh no, his hand, they grabbed the buttocks there and they ripped that up because they were so mad. Yeah, it sounds very believable, doesn't it? Sounds very, very believable. Again,
guys, Tug is such a smart guy. Said it in a funny voice, therefore it means... That is not an analysis. That's not an analysis. That's not logical. That is just an emotional cue to be like, I said it in a funny voice, therefore... He's not actually analyzing anything. He's not actually looking anything up and actually comparing anything or saying, like, here's what they said here, here's what they said here, here's this is why this is believable, here's why this isn't. He's just throwing incredulity at things and expecting people to be like, oh yeah, no, yeah, that makes sense. He said it sounded funny. He said it sounded stupid, therefore it must be stupid. He's not actually providing anything of substance here. Have you noticed he hasn't made an actual argument? He's just being like denialing. This is just denialism. There's no logical following between what he's saying. It's just rhetoric at best. And it's rhetoric that gets shut down as soon as you read the next line of the thing he's showing on screen.
Again, people feeling upset because they're not Christian, and he's being mean to them because he is, and so on. Also saying he's rude to people, he's a nightmare of a guest, people that work at conventions. Basically, that sounds like most professionals that we deal with. So you see the...
What? So it's okay? So you just threw all of all professionals under the bus because all professionals are divas? And then that's it? That's all you're going to say about it? So you're agreeing that he does these things, you just think it's okay because enough people do it? If enough people do racism, is racism okay? What? What the fuck? If enough people, like, at the end of dinner get up and shit on the table at the restaurant, do you just accept that then and be like, well, guess this is what we do now? Is that suddenly like, what the fuck? Huh? I don't know why. Like, I don't get it.
These stories, you see how they talk about him being a rude a-hole, he screams at people and so on. Again, no substantiation. We don't have videos of all of this, but hey.
But you do have video of some of it. Keeping in mind that a lot of these allegations, again, and I've talked about this before, I think when I talked about it when I was talking about Fat Man DD1, because I was looking at some of Vic Mignogna's fans, they were wanting video evidence from a time period where, like, the best phone anybody had was, like, the Nokia flip phone. And it's like, where are we getting fucking... It's 2001. Do you not remember what 2001 was like? Like, we didn't have that everybody was fucking running around with fucking smartphones with cameras on them that could do HD streaming at conventions. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's not a thing. But the pictures are there, there's corroborating evidence, there's people know. Like, you can't ask for something that literally didn't exist at the time. That's just silly. And then say, oh, well, it didn't exist at the time, therefore...
In the day of everyone recording everything at cons, that doesn't seem peculiar anyway, does it? So he responded to this kind of stuff too. And he said, the rumors and gossip have been spun around for many, many years. None of these outrageous stories are true. Not one shred of proof or evidence to support them. Been very open and warm and welcoming to fans for many years. That includes hugging them, taking pictures, and occasionally giving them a kiss on the cheek or the forehead. He adds on that he's not homophobic, not anti-Semitic, not a predator in any way. He also talks about people...
Funny. Yes, it does. Because the allegation is that he kissed me and I didn't want to be kissed. And then here he's saying, I kissed people. Side note, by the way, I thought Tug said that he didn't want to rehash all of this stuff, but here he is rehashing things from Yellow Flash's video. But what does this have to do with Yellow Flash being attacked, by the way?
People at cons, you know, hug 1,000 people, 999 say, hey, he's so kind and open and friendly. One person, oh man, he hugged me too tight and he was a creeper. So when you go through this,
that's not what it says. It says, he says, quote, I'll hug 1,000 people and 99 will say he's so kind, open, and friendly with his fans, and one will say he hugged me too tight and it was creepy, so it appears that I'm going to need to revise the way I interact with fans at conventions. Yes, and if you had actually done that, maybe you would have less of a problem instead of whining and bitching and blaming people who didn't want to be hugged that you were hugging. Just don't ask them if they want to hug. Let people come to you. It's that simple. It's really that fucking simple. It's just fucking consent. Don't hug people who don't want to be hugged. If you have sex with 1,000 girls and one of them said they never wanted to have sex with you, do you want to know what that makes you? A rapist. Dumbass. You wouldn't like it if I gave you 1,000 burgers and you ate 999 of them and were like, that's great, and that last burger made you sick. I'm still the asshole because I force-fed you a burger. Like, what the fuck? This is insane to me. Well, I only assaulted one person, guys. And that's just fine. And Tug's like, yeah, see, that's ridiculous. How could one person dare to not want something? How dare one person not want a hug from Vic Mignogna? I don't like people touching me. Don't fucking touch me. I'll kick you in the dick.
Again, if you look at what's been thrown out there, there have been attempts to tie him in to terrible things, talking about how
you mean like kissing minors? That they can't
how he's a monster and on. But if you look at what has been put together, I mean, like I say, you know, you see...
you know, Tug, I would love to look at what's been put together. Could you show that to me? Why are we here? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are we here? You keep telling me these things have been debunked, but won't show me how. You keep telling me these things are silly, but you won't show them to me. You're not showing me the things that are silly. You're only showing me other things. If we look at what's been put together, you'll find out this is ridiculous. But we're not going to look at that. Well, why aren't you showing me that?
Things like this, with his name brought in. You see sexual assault at conventions. It makes it sound like he has been responsible for something. But no.
He has been. He admitted it in the thing you just read. It's almost like this anime fan, Tug over here, doesn't know dick shit about conventions and doesn't know that, hey, once upon a time, there was a really big push because there was an issue with cosplayers being sexually assaulted because people kept touching them because they were dressed scantily because they were in cosplay, they were in costumes. And that's where there was a whole movement that was cosplay does not equal consent. Costume doesn't equal consent. That was a whole thing that had to go out there because anime dudes were creepy as fuck and wouldn't stop fucking touching people. I wonder why contextually Vic Mignogna was able to get away with it for so long. Giving context to the story doesn't... You're trying to pretend that this is unacceptable. It's like one of the reasons sexual assault allegations about Vic Mignogna are such a sensitive issue is because sexual assault is a rampant problem at conventions. What if you actually read the article, Tug, and actually read what it said? It is allowed to occur at conventions because the people who put on the conventions don't do enough to resolve it, and the attendees repeat their illicit behavior. This is despite the fact that sexual assault at anime conventions and Western Comic-Con is a long-standing and well-known problem. Read the article, asshole.
Like conventions. It makes it sound like he has been responsible for something. But no, that's actually not what it's saying. It's actually saying, well, conventions, they've had an issue of this. Therefore. He was also brought up.
Therefore what? Therefore what? What did it say? What did it say, Tug? Therefore what? Therefore the allegations about Vic Mignogna are true? Because that's not what it said. It said that's why it's sensitive and why people care about it. It's one issue stacked on top of a bunch of other issues. How about you address the issues? No? You're not going to talk about the issues at all? What the fuck is the point? This is so disjointed.
Which I think is interesting to talk about because this is a crowdsourced directory of alleged predators in the U.S. anime conventions. Now, when you look at that, it sounds like something that's actually pretty big, right? I mean, it sounds like it's put together really well. Only, yeah, does that look like it's put together really well for you? And again, believe survivors. Get together, basically make a list of people because, hey, why not? Again, we don't need substantiation to anything. So this is pretty much how...
You didn't actually show it... Hold on. Alright, let's look at what it actually was. Let's see if we can find it here. Let's see. Skipped over that, skipped over allegations, analysis, and evidence that he just skipped over. Here we go. Do you like that he skipped over the part that's literally titled allegations, analysis, and evidence? Like right there. Like, Tug just skipped that. This entire video is such a model for jerking off Vic that it should be on Pornhub. Yeah, look, cosplay does not equal consent. What'd I tell you? Broken staircase. Alright, let's take a look. Site can't be reached. DNS cannot be found. Weird. What a shame. Now we'll never know what was actually in there since you didn't actually look to see what it was doing. Let's see what... View spreadsheet, submit report, survivor resources, bystander resources, FAQs home. What is this? A missing stair is a member of a community who is known to be unsafe, and yet who members of the community continue to work around and accommodate rather than excluding them from the well-being of the group. Everyone around them knows that there is an issue, but because the problem's been there for such a long time, people have learned to jump over it. So it's a trope, like the term. The convention community is full of these people due to a common geek social fallacy that ostracizers are evil and that excluding people is malicious and wrong. Fix the Broken Staircase is a crowdsourced directory of alleged predators at US anime conventions. It uses a Google form to collect data, which a moderator reviews and uses to populate a public Google spreadsheet. Your information will not be published. Reporters who have already made public call-out posts are encouraged to include them. Let's work together to improve our spaces. So this is not what he said it was. This is not even close to what he said it was. He said, oh, it's just a list of people that we've deemed are bad people. It's like, no, you submit something, somebody reviews it, and then posts it as a person who's allegedly problematic, so keep an eye out for them. This person is allegedly problematic, look out, keep an eye out for this.
Hey, why not? Again, we don't need substantiation to anything. So this is pretty much how things go. This is pretty much how all of the accusation comes together. And well,
How? You didn't show anything. I read that out. You didn't read it. How did anything come together? You're just saying, haha, the fake news. How? In what way?
people out there, they don't seem to like that people aren't willing to take that in. In fact, if you go and you look at some of those conversations, again, he needs to go out if he would like to publicly disavow members of the alt-right. Again, who is alt-right? Well, anyone that isn't right here standing with me. So if you want to go out and disavow.
Wow, that's a lot of additional words you're putting into that sentence. What, you want to know what is the alt-right? What is the alt-right? You want to know the AI answer? Political movement originating on social media and online forums composed of a segment of conservatives who support extreme right-wing ideologies, including white nationalism and anti-Semitism. The alternative right, commonly known as the alt-right, is a set of far-right ideologies, groups, and individuals whose core belief that white identity is under attack by multicultural forces using political correctness and social justice to undermine white power. Wikipedia. The alt-right, abbreviated from alternative right, is a far-right white nationalist movement, a largely online phenomenon. The alt-right originated in the United States during the late 2000s before increasing in popularity, establishing a presence in other countries during the mid-2010s, and has been declining since 2017. The term is ill-defined and has been used in different ways by academics, journalists, media commentators, and alt-right members themselves. In 2010, the American white nationalist Richard B. Spencer launched the Alternative Right webzine. His alternative right was influenced by earlier forms of American white nationalism. It's no secret what's being referred to here. AKA exactly what Tug is doing. Yes, alt-right, alternative right is on the Tin Man. Yeah. It's fascism. I know because I used to be part of it. Wow! Go figure. Tim Pool, yeah, alt-right. We know what Mars Girl is referring to. What Tug is doing is trying to throw, like, he's throwing spaghetti. What's the word I'm looking for here? He's throwing out additional accusations that are not being made to try to discredit or dismiss what's being said and detract from what the actual point is. The point is that Vic Mignogna has fans running around attacking people on his behalf. This was from February 7th, 2019. This video is February 8th, 2019. This happened the day before. So, Tug, how quickly was it that people were getting attacked one day after Mars Girl posted something? Muddying the water, yep. Bird on a chessboard, yeah. He's making a smoke screen, yep. Yep. Throwing chaff, yep. He's bullshitting because he doesn't want to address the actual issue, which is white nationalist transphobe bigots are supporting Vic Mignogna, and if Vic Mignogna wanted to, he could distance himself from all that and make himself look not like literally the thing people have been accusing him of being. And he didn't do that, by the way. He didn't do that. Subverting the main issues, yeah. This is similar to Charla being attacked by the company on behalf of Steve. Yeah, weird. It's almost like this kind of thing festers on YouTube really, really easily. Because language and rhetoric convinces people. Tug hasn't shown anything. Tug hasn't actually presented anything. All he has done is half read something and then throw a bunch of rhetoric on top of it. There's no logic here. There's no reason. There's no argumentation. It's just bullshit. He's just bullshitting. He's been bullshitting the whole time. This man has nearly 400,000 subscribers as of right now.
about them coming to his defense to harass people in a dangerous manner. What does that mean? I'm sure disagreeing with your narrative is probably harassing in a dangerous manner, and they don't mean in a closed room full of fans, but
No, harassing in a dangerous manner was people getting doxxed. People being sent shit. Why are you pretending you don't know this?
actually publicly, disagreeing publicly, that would be a really good time. Kick Vic, because damn it, people are coming to your defense and we don't like that. Another thing.
No, it's not that people are defending Vic. What people didn't like was harassing people and being dangerous and alt-right. Because alt-right people are inherently dangerous. Because they want other parts of the population to stop existing. Because they're dangerous.
Thing that was being complained about was a person here was saying, hey, my friend is somebody that was impersonated by another person, and basically there was a conversation about doctoring images. Now they're talking about stuff like this, and this stuff.
Let's actually read it, because these people like to not actually present the evidence. So this is from 10 hours ago from when this screenshot was taken. There is no date on this. I do not know when this screenshot is from, because it's a shitty screenshot, and we can't see the bottom part of it, which is the part that's highlighted, and that would be the part that would have the date on it, so we would know when the fuck this was taken. But it says, it's a retweet, where the retweeted thing says, I never thought I would make any tweets on this account, but I need people to spread the word. DeviantArt account. Someone is impersonating my friend on Facebook and admitted to wanting to doctor evidence as part of the hashtag AnimeGate scandal. Mars Girl retweeted that and says, impersonating someone in order to sway a narrative in one direction or the other should not be tolerated by anyone who has any dog in this fight. Shame on the impersonator and shame on those making videos smearing the real person's name. Oh, so Mars Girl is saying, don't fake evidence? Why would anybody fake evidence? That's horseshit and they should be shamed, regardless of who? There's no specification, and this is specifying that it was made against Vic.
About doctoring images. Now they're talking about stuff like this. And this stuff, it looks really bad when you get down to it. You have a picture out there. This is somebody's repost. That's why you'll see that come up. But you see the picture, and then you see a conversation coming up. And again, I'm not saying that the accounts here are tied to any person whatsoever. I'm just showing you what is out there. So person comes in and says, you should.
We've seen Vic doing things like this in pictures, right? We've seen him grabbing the one where he's grabbing that girl and her arms are pinned to her side and she can't move, and she told her story about that. We saw it on Yellow Flash's video last week. It wasn't this picture because it wasn't this person. But he says that this picture looks bad. All right, Tug, then what's your opinion about the legitimate picture as opposed to the faked one?
This is somebody's repost. That's why you'll see that come up. But you see the picture, and then you see a conversation coming up. And again, I'm not saying that the accounts here are tied to any person whatsoever. I'm just showing you what is out there. So a person comes in and says, you should Photoshop that pic so it looks like Vic's hands are on your chest. That way.
Oh, so that's not the doctored image. This is the regular image. This is the regular image, and Tug said it looked bad. So you think that this picture looks bad, Tug? So you're looking at evidence, Tug, that you said didn't exist earlier in the video? Okay.
Coming up. And again, I'm not saying that the accounts here are tied to any person whatsoever. I'm just showing you what is out there.
So you're using the fake person. You're using the person who is faking being somebody and showing it as evidence right after Mars Girl was like, these are fake, somebody is doing this, it's bullshit, shame on you for blowing it up. And Tug is like, that's a great idea, I should blow that up? Really? And you're gonna blast the person's name because they're using the Facebook? Interesting.
So a person comes in and says, you should Photoshop that pic so it looks like Vic's hands are on your chest. That way, no one can claim that it's out of context, and it makes Vic look worse than he is. Person responds, nah, falsifying evidence is gross. Retort, even if it helps make Vic look bad. Response, even if it makes Vic look like Hitler. Response.
Wow, it's almost like the people who were hashtag kick Vic weren't needing to make shit up or lie about stuff. It's really interesting that you're presenting this as if people were on a witch hunt to go get Vic Mignogna, but weren't willing to bite when somebody tried to bait them with behaving in a way that wasn't good or reliable. Or making shit up. He's actually reading out how honest Kick Vic were being. After somebody impersonating one of them came in to try to bullshit them and try to encourage them to do shit, and they didn't take it. So what's your problem about what was all the 8 minutes before this, where you're trying to represent these people as being dishonest?
Response to that. Ooh, so that would be fun. Someone should add that the Hitler mustache to him. Then again, we already know he hates Jews. Someone responds to that. Why would you even suggest to edit evidence? That would pretty much throw out the case of law, and it would bring doubt on other allegations. If anything, this would help him. Not only that, but there's this little thing called ethics. Maybe that should trouble you. Again, maybe not. I mean, you're looking at the type of people that deal with that. Maybe not.
What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean you're dealing with the type of people who don't care about that? Literally, the people you're complaining about are saying, why would you ever do this? That's awful. Don't do this thing. Mars Girl's like, don't do this thing. The kickfit community are like, don't do this thing. After this random fucking came in here pretending to be one of their friends making these suggestions. And then you're saying, yeah, see, these people don't even care about evidence. As he's reading out them caring about the evidence. Can you bash your face outside of an Applebee's any harder, my guy? That's so incredibly dishonest. That's so like what Tug just did is so incredibly dishonest. You want to talk about ethics, Tug? You want to talk about ethics? How about your blatant misrepresentation after you literally read out these people doing the opposite and how you're trying to present them as unethical, dishonest people as you're literally reading them being the most honest people ever? What the fuck? This is like talking about, I don't know, the fucking, like, Pinkie Pie and being like, wow, Pinkie Pie is a pink My Little Pony. She's so happy and just loves everybody around her. This bitch! What an awful person she must be. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Not. But, beyond that, what about lawsuit? Because I know, I would feel like a pyromaniac of sorts. If you went out and you tried to set my stuff on fire, I'd want to burn your livelihood to the ground. I definitely.
Oh, yeah? You mean you're projecting? That was a really... I want to play that again. Quite the confession there.
Maybe that should trouble you. Again, maybe not. I mean, you're looking at the type of people that deal with that. Maybe not. But, beyond that, what about lawsuit? Because I know, I would feel like a pyromaniac of sorts. If you went out and you tried to set my stuff on fire, I'd want to burn your livelihood to the ground. I definitely would. After I got in and I started suing you, I would take everything and I would just keep going. Because,
considering that we're looking at this with hindsight and we now have 5 years under our belts of Yellow Flash and Umbrella Guy and Ricada and Vic Mignogna making content attacking everybody who would criticize them, anybody who would criticize Vic Mignogna, and how vitriolic that got. You do realize that Tug just said that he would and justify to his entire audience why Vic should have his alt-right fans attacking and harassing people, right? The thing that he just showed Mars Girl calling out and saying that that's a bad thing. So Tug is a vengeful little prick. Yeah. Yeah. Again, we're back to Vic should face consequences for his actions. Yes. If he did something. We would agree that predators should face consequences. So should Vic face consequences at least to the stuff he admitted to doing, he confessed to? Maybe? A little bit? How dare they be honest on the internet? I know, right? What's the world coming to? Hey, Crusher.
I wouldn't feel very kind or nice. I wouldn't want to take a photo of me hugging you or kissing you on the cheek for sure. I'd want to maybe take a photo of me kissing your bank statement. I was like, I love this. How do you like your Photoshop now? Anyway.
What is this fantasy he is inventing? Why would any of the people who said, I don't want Vic Mignogna touching me, he touched me and I didn't like it, would any of them want Vic Mignogna to then give him a hug? What would it? Could you not understand the scenario any worse? Like, this is incredibly just idiotic. Idiotic. Sorry, I gotta play the whole thing to get the
fire. I'd want to burn your livelihood. About looking at the type of people that deal with that, maybe not. But, beyond that, what about lawsuit? Because I know, I would feel like a pyromaniac of sorts. If you went out and you tried to set my stuff on fire, I'd want to burn your livelihood to the ground. I definitely would. After I got in and I started suing you, I would take everything and I would just keep going. Because, I wouldn't feel very kind or nice. I wouldn't want to take a photo of me hugging you or kissing you on the cheek for sure. I'd want to maybe take a photo of me kissing your bank statement. I was like, I love this. How do you like your Photoshop now? Anyway, continuing on.
They didn't Photoshop anything, Tug. Somebody pretending to be somebody else in their group made the suggestion and they all went, fuck no, what is wrong with you? Why would you ever do that? And now you're trying to fantasize about them doing that thing and the vengeance you would reap upon them. Like you don't know how the law works. The law isn't meant to be for revenge. The law is for resolution. For fuck's sake. This is why Vic failed. This right here, this is why Vic failed in his lawsuits. This is why, because they tried to weaponize the court. They tried to use the court as a batting stick to try to beat people down who disagreed with them or had opinions that they were icky people, that they didn't want to be around. How dare you not want to be around me? How dare you have a negative impression of me? I'm going to beat you with this stick titled the law until you fucking comply. And that's not what the law is for. That's not what the law does, which is why they failed on every single front. That and incompetence. But, there's more than one reason you can fail. Because it's not for that. The court is for resolution. As we've seen, right? So what was Vic trying to resolve? Nothing. He was trying to get revenge.
If the Photoshop looks convincing, they say, so nothing to worry about there. There's always a way to figure out something is shopped. It also does not help when talk about photoshopping a pic in a public group where anyone can see it. Yeah, that doesn't strike you as very wise.
Yeah, because it wasn't someone from their group. It was probably someone from Vic's group trying to bait these people and trying to paint them as people that they weren't, and they didn't buy it. And your trap didn't work. Your trick didn't work. But you're trying to present it as if it worked anyway. Which is very, very weird. Which is, by the way, the thing that's making me probably think and infer that it was someone from your group of people. Because no sane person would spring a trap that didn't work like this unless it was theirs.
Just don't do it. It's extremely harmful to victims. So the response there. This is a closed group, so not everyone can see it. Point still stands. Yes, but I will call you the F out if I do catch you spreading false evidence, so don't do it. Just because it's a closed group doesn't mean it's okay to make shit up. And that's very true. It doesn't.
Wow. It's almost like there was no discussion ever. It was some random posing as somebody else, making a proposal, and then everybody shutting it the fuck down as a terrible idea and saying that if they do this, they are all going to shit on them for even trying.
But, what is the response to all of this? Of course, it's not truly about a person going out and talking about altering these type of photos. That's not what we're talking about here. No, the Kick Vic saga, as the Kick Vic saga gets bigger. And if you look
the Kick Vic saga, the Kick Vic bigger, the Kick Vic dick. Like, why do you keep saying it like that? You're so fucking weird. You're trying to make it sound way more aggressive than it was.
it up, well, you'll see a few ringleaders popping up there, impersonating someone in order to sway a narrative in one direction or the other should not be tolerated by anyone who has a dog in this fight. The only person who has a dog in this fight, it's Vic and people that are accusing. People are talking about that. No one has a...
That's not true. Anime fans have a dog in that fight. Convention goers have a dog in that fight. Cosplayers, con staff have a dog in this fight. What are you talking about? Lots of people cared about this. Some people who don't care about anime cared about this. Victims in general care about this. People who get accused falsely should care about this. Because you want clearer lines to delineate when someone is and is not being called out falsely, right? What are you talking about? How could you possibly say... Yeah, crazy how no one actually faked anything. Isn't it not weird that he spent the first half of this video claiming that things were being faked, and then he showed us an example of how how Kick Vic definitely didn't fake anything, and then took it and ran with it to say Kick Vic faked things? He knew at the beginning that they didn't fake anything when he was presenting the beginning half of the video. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll take a quick break. I'll be back in about a minute or two. anyone who's new to this shouldn't trust those YouTubers. Hear me out, right? Hear me out. You shouldn't trust any YouTubers. Not at face value. Everything that you see on a screen is curated, right? Even if it's like intentional or not intentional, right? So, like, any streamer's background is curated. They chose to leave or put whatever's in their background in their background. They choose to look or to not show their face. Don't trust me either. There's a reason why I put on screen whatever I'm talking about, and I actually read through things, right? If I suddenly am not doing that for something, you should immediately be suspicious of me. 100%. Don't trust me. You shouldn't have to trust me, right? You shouldn't have to. Because if I'm doing a good job presenting whatever I'm presenting, you should be able to find it yourselves, right? Don't trust anybody when it comes to stuff like this. And it's not because I don't think you should have affinity for, like, you can have affinity for certain YouTubers. Like, if you enjoy my content and you like what I'm saying, so maybe you can trust that I'm not ill-intentioned, right? You could trust that, but you don't have to trust my opinion. You don't have to trust my assessment, right? I don't trust you fuckers at all. You guys cannot be trusted. Not even in the slightest. Chat cannot be trusted with anything. Every time I trust chat, I end up painting something completely cursed. Or I fall down some rabbit hole, and this is the worst fucking experience. I enjoy you guys and your company. Chat is my favorite part about streaming. If I only made videos and didn't do chat, I probably wouldn't do YouTube. But you can double check. I provide sources. I provide the information. I provide my opinion about it and my reasoning as to why I think this. And one of the reasons why I do that is so you guys can just do your own thing. You can agree with me. You can not agree with me. You can think, "Fuck you, Athens." Right? Exactly. 100%. 100%. But back to the topic, because like you can trust a YouTuber so much as you can, like, I trust that I'll enjoy their content, or I trust that they're not ill-intentioned, or I trust that what they're presenting to me is at least accurate to a degree, right? And then you just kind of assess that as you go. I'm sure there will be times where I'm talking about something where there's not as much information available, right? And I'm like, well, you can trust me on this or not, or you can go and check out more for yourself. And that's always the intention. I wouldn't trust me if I was me. But trust is a finicky thing, and I don't think anybody should just blanket trust a YouTuber. But definitely you shouldn't trust people who are obviously lying, right? Like, Tug is obviously dishonest, right? Like, obviously dishonest. I don't think I'm being dishonest, and I don't think I'm intentionally being dishonest. That might mean that I could get something wrong, or I might misinterpret something, I might misread something, right? Earlier in this stream, I misunderstood that he was showing a photoshopped picture, and I was like, oh wait, no, that's not a photoshopped picture, and I corrected myself. Oh, the hair. Oh, not the hair, not the hair. Oh, God. Anything but that. I trust that Chesh is an 11-year-old boy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at you monsters. What is this? Alright, well, I was thinking about it while I was on break and while my kettle was boiling and while we were talking about this, about who does actually have a dog in the fight about Vic Mignogna, right? Not just lie, but not pay attention enough to entire information, or at least pay enough intent. So this is the thing with Tug, right? Peyton, I'm gonna go one step further, because I think your assessment is accurate, and I think your assessment is charitable, which is all good things. I would go one step further. I would say, not only do I believe that Tug is not paying attention enough, I think he is intentionally misrepresenting and leaving information out on purpose that he knows is there. That's what I think. Because he knew that this conversation about photoshopping something happened because it's part of his presentation of this video at the beginning of this video. So at the beginning when he's talking about, oh, things have been faked, all of that was all just set up so he could drop the bomb to blame these people in particular, which he is misrepresenting what went on with them in their entirety, but he's still saying all those things. He's presenting that information, but he's displaying the information and describing it and coming to conclusions about that information that are contradictory to the information he's actually putting up on screen. Or even actually reading out. He reads out that somebody wants to Photoshop and everybody says, fuck no, what's wrong with you? And he says, and these are the people who have ethical questions, like they're probably fine with Photoshopping things, as it clearly is showing all of them not being okay with Photoshopping something, right? To me, it's an extra level of dishonesty. It's an extra level of intention. Again, this is an edited video. This is a video that he made and put together, right? This isn't just like speaking through on a stream like I am right now, where maybe I get more information as we go, right? Sometimes I watch these videos ahead of time. This one I didn't. But sometimes I do, because I want to make sure that what I'm saying is going to be accurate. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm way over-explaining. Way over-explaining. That's a me problem. So I was thinking about who has a dog in this fight, right? And I'm like, okay, well, Vic has a dog in the fight. Jamie, Marshy, Funimation has a dog in the fight. Conventions and con staff are the obvious people who all have dogs in this fight. Right? I don't think Mars Girl has much of a dog in the fight outside of being like directly. I think she has more of a dog in the fight indirectly for making like conventions in the anime space a better place. Right? So anybody who wants their space to be a better place has a dog in this fight, whether they're a Kick Vic or I stand with Vic, either or they're both wanting a better space. They just have different opinions and one side is very wrong. Like obviously very wrong. But there's like another underbelly, right? That has a dog in this fight. And it's Nick Rekieta and Ty Beard. You know, the people profiteering off of it, like Yellow Flash or Tug, who has a dog in this fight. Because they're making money off of it, aren't they? The 11-year-old boy is mansplaining her. You know, the one time I actually did convince somebody on Discord that I was a 12-year-old boy because I wasn't on camera or anything, so I was just talking, and because, like, my vocal range, very funny. It was very funny. Also being asked to defend the obviously true thing she says makes her have a dog in the fight. Yeah, people attacking her for saying true things gives Mars Girl a dog in the fight. Right? So, Yellow Flash and Tug and their audience having a dog in this fight to defend a creep for being a creep. You're sitting here defending your friend, right? Supposedly. Supposedly this video is Yellow Flash 2 attacked because Vic Mignogna. We're 11 minutes into this 18-minute video. No mention of Yellow Flash yet. No showing of Yellow Flash being attacked. Are you sure he's not being attacked because he pronounced Yowie wrong and enraged the fan base? Who, by the way, is also homophobic? No? No? Tug clearly has a dog in this race. So for him to pretend is very silly.
Who has a dog in this fight? The only person who has a dog in this fight, it's Vic and people that are accusing. People are talking about that. No one has a dog in it. People are saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't fire up the torches and try to burn a man's life to the ground. Doesn't that sound reasonable? I mean,
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound reasonable. And the reason it doesn't sound reasonable is because you're not asking for people not to burn this man's house to the ground, like livelihood to the ground. What you're asking is for people to overlook his assault of minors, to allow him to continue to exist in a community where he is a danger to the people around him, so he can continue to have an easy career. Yeah, he's asking victims to not have a voice. He's asking for Vic Mignogna to be exempt from consequences to his actions. And for people not to talk about it. He's saying that, well, we're just talking about it and we should be allowed to, but all we're asking you to do is not talk about it. Which isn't true. Because that's not the case anyway, because people were getting harassed. Sorry, no, not the Yowie fanbase. I realize, yeah, no, the way I said that was unclear. Yellow Flash is homophobic. I will clarify. Yeah, my wording on that kind of flubbed backwards, didn't it? Well, yeah, Vic is just like a little guy. He's young. He doesn't know any better. Oh, wait, he was 50 and he was touching 14-year-olds. Oh.
Doesn't it? Especially considering who I'm talking to here. I mean, let's be real here. We're talking about someone that was...
You're talking to victims of Vic. That Vic has confirmed are victims of his. So no, it does not sound reasonable. Just because you say it in a voice that kind of sounds like you're high and a little bit just relaxed in a chair smoking a stogie does not make it convincing that what you're saying is reasonable when you're saying some of the most absolutely outrageous shit I've ever heard. Anybody can talk like that. It's not impressive. Using a specific tone to elicit and to LARP as being logical doesn't actually make what you're saying logical. You have to be logical for that. Sorry, I'm not gonna buy your performance. I'm not gonna buy your performative intelligence. You're an idiot. You're not only are you stupid, you're shallow and incompetent. Because only somebody so shallow-minded would even be able to conceive of saying something so absolutely absurdly ridiculous as what you just said.
Was tied to Channel Awesome. Now, Channel Awesome, even if you're disconnected from it and on, Channel Awesome was formed on someone being attacked and being deplatformed, which this will get into deplatforming. That's what we're going to talk about here.
Mars Girl joined Channel Awesome after it was well established. You cannot that's not a point against her. It's not, she wasn't there during the forming of it. Are you fucking high? What are you even talking? Guys, Google's turning evil and is distorting search engine optimization, and Tug is on YouTube, and YouTube is owned by Google. Therefore, Tug is evil. That'd be just as logical as me saying, but Tug names himself after Umbrella from Resident Evil, therefore he's evil. Like that. Yes, he's defending Doug Walker right now, but that is a conversation for another day. Another day. There was lots of allegations and things that went on that were not good and not okay. Like, there's a reason why people like Mars Girl and Linkara and Suede and Spoonie don't work with Doug anymore. And don't, talk about him or talk about, deal with that shit anymore. And here's the thing. Tug, she left. So if bad things happen there and she left, that's a point in her favor of being ethical. So you're actually bringing up a scenario where she found out about negative thing and left said thing. If she was just in Channel Awesome for the notoriety or whatever the fuck, or to be part of a bigger channel, then she would still be there for your argument to hold water, dumbass. The fact that she's not there anymore means that she did the ethical thing, as opposed to what you're doing, which is trying to misrepresent her and in doing so actually exposing her being a decent human being. You fucking weirdo. Like you've been doing this whole video.
You would think that that would actually resonate, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't resonate within all of this. Not only that, this person has a YouTube and Twitch and on. Would you want people trying to take your stuff down because you actually discuss something? Because you actually go in and you say, again, you don't need to burn someone's life down? I mean, what kind of world are we looking at? So
context. Context matters. Do you think Daddy of 5 should still have a YouTube channel? For anybody who doesn't know, Daddy of 5 was a channel that had like a dad and a mom and their like 5 kids, where they abused them, the kids, regularly on stream. They had their kid, 2 of the kids were taken away. So it depends on what's on the channel, the context of what you're discussing and how you're discussing it. Do you think that I'm trying to take Tug's channel down? And I'm trying to burn his livelihood to the ground for criticizing him by saying he does a bad job and he's a shitty YouTuber? Daddy of 5 should be deplatformed 100%. Onision deserves to be deplatformed 100% because he's an abuser. Rakita should be deplatformed. He should not be on YouTube. It's clearly bad for him and his family. Rape apologists doing rape apology on their channels don't deserve a platform. If you're using your platform to harass people, here's the thing. I've talked about this before and I'll say it again. YouTube is a privilege. Having a YouTube channel is a privilege. YouTube is a tool. If you use that tool to hit people and abuse people and harass people, you don't deserve access to that tool anymore. If you run around hitting people with a hammer, you're not allowed to have hammers anymore. I'll treat you like you're in kindergarten. If you're running around with a toy in kindergarten and you're using your toy to hit other kids, you're gonna have to go sit in the corner and you don't get to play with that toy anymore. It's really that straightforward. It's really that fucking simple. If you have animals and you're abusing those animals, you're not allowed to have animals anymore. Simple as that. The internet is a privilege. Social media is a privilege. If you use your platform to abuse people, you don't get to have it anymore. It is really that fucking simple. So, Tug, are you using your platform to abuse people? Is that why you're so defensive and have been for 5 years? This is a 5-year-old video. Did you recently make a video defending Rakita's drug abuse and child neglect? Does Vic use his platform to rile his fan base up and encourage them to harass people? Should Vic Mignogna have a platform? No. But the reason he shouldn't have a platform is because he's abusing the platform. He's using the platform to harm people on purpose. Not just criticism, not just disagreements. So no, not everybody gets to have a platform and do whatever they want. Post a video of, like, you doing something abusive to an animal and see how well that goes for you. You should be deplatformed. You should not be abusing animals. Period. That's why there's like problems around all those like dog rescue or animal rescue videos where it's like, yeah, I covered this duck in oil, but look at me saving the duck, and that's the content. It's fucked up. It's a problem. YouTube has a problem.
Continuing, shame on the impersonator, and shame on those, here we go, making videos smearing a real person's name. Oh.
That's you, Tug. Mars Girl just called you out from the past. Are you embarrassed?
Oh, man. Now you see the video that's linked here. Oh no, that mean...
Let's pause real quick and say that this tweet went out on February 7th, 2019. Again, this was February 8th, so like a whole one day.
Oh, yellow flash there. That having been said, and I've never said this, but I would strongly suggest flagging this particular video for spreading misinformation about a fake Facebook account created to delegitimize a legitimate concern. Only if you agree, of course. Go out and flag this down. I would never say this out loud, but you just did. You just talked about flagging someone down because you don't want them covering that because they didn't.
Nope. That's not what any of that says.
Give a disclaimer saying, hey, that might not be the person there. I mean, is that what you want with it? And you know, if you follow this down, of course, yellow flash tags in Twitter and Team YouTube because that's pretty messed up. I mean, when you get into
That's not a false flag.
This kind of stuff, you know, not only is that messed up, but
why?
You have...
Tell me why. Actually address what was actually said. What was said was, there is misinformation being posted about YouTube trying to delegitimize and silence actual victims. And this channel is abusing that with misinformation. So, this video deserves to be flagged, and you should flag it if you agree with that. That's not false flagging. False flagging has to be on a false premise, which is not being presented here, because it has to be false in the first place. Mass flagging also, that's not how the TOS works. Read it again. Go back and read it from 2019. Making people aware of false information and saying we need to flag to alert YouTube of this false information is not false flagging. If I say, hey, listen, this flat earther is bullshitting about COVID, his video needs to be flagged to YouTube, it's not a false flag because he's putting people in danger.
People in this conversation that are talking about, you know, just some crazy things. I mean, it gets into some crazy conversation. There are people talking about violence. They're saying, you know, talk shit, get hit.
I like him hearting Yellow Flash's comments. So where's the attack on Yellow Flash? Is it that he had false information and, you know, needs to be fucking made aware of it? Because, let's see, did Yellow Flash, when corrected about his information, did he take that video down? Let's go back. Let's find out. Why don't we go look? Why don't we go see? Let's find out. Let me look at the title of the video. DM leaks of NPC lying about Vic Mignogna. YouTube. DM leaks of NPC lying about Vic Mignogna. I would like to point out, by the way, that calling victims of Vic Mignogna NPCs kind of fucked up. Let's go to Yellow Flash. Search. DM leaks. Hey! Huh. Oh, I spelled leaks wrong. Oh. Interesting. Close. Different thumbnail, different title. Doesn't have the word NPC in it. Interesting.
You know, if you follow this down, of course, Yellow Flash tags in Twitter and Team YouTube, because that's pretty messed up. I mean, when you get into this kind of stuff, you know, not only is that messed up, but you have people in this
So he's about to, like, accuse people of being violent in the comment section, but let's see. Well, this is not painting a good picture that your first action is to tell people to mass flag a video instead of approaching the man and talk about it, ellipses. Well, why? Why would you have to do that? I think that's an unrealistic, especially considering how Yellow Flash had approached this already, which we saw last week. I think it's unreasonable to try to approach him personally. Not only do I think that that would be an inappropriate thing to do, I think that would be a dangerous thing to do. This whole hashtag #KickVic thing is nothing but a bunch of racist white girls mad because a Sicilian American, brackets, which has African roots by the way, bracket, made it big, lynching in 1800s, the KKK hangs someone because white chicks say bullshit. In 2019, hashtag MeToo, crucifying a man publicly / destroying them. Are they referring to Vic Mignogna as if he's not white? Because he has Sicilian roots? That's insane. Do no jump into this rabbit hole in this way until we all see what happens next. Already one of the girls from one of the photos came out in defense of Vic. It's best to stay neutral on this one. I disagree with that assessment, but sure.
Conversation that are talking about, you know, just some crazy things. I mean, it gets into some crazy conversation. There are...
Like what? Where? That it's crazy to compare very much a white guy, Vic Mignogna, to Sicilian roots to call people racist? Because they don't want to be assaulted? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I agree with that. I don't think that's what you're talking about, but that's pretty fucking crazy. Nah, man, someone maliciously faked a Facebook account, stealing someone else's identity, used that account to make wild suggestions, and then an innocent person got harassed for it. That is a reasonable thing to tell people to flag, by the way. That is what YouTube encourages you to do in its TOS, by the way. So all Mars Girl is doing here is saying, hey, there's this false information that's being perpetuated and is lying about these legitimate issues and people are being harassed for it. This video needs to be flagged to YouTube. And they're presenting this as if it's some kind of assault on Yellow Flash when it's not. If Yellow Flash doesn't want to get flagged for false information, he should check to make sure his information is accurate first. Jackass. And if he's going to be too lazy to do so, then, oh no, the shame, the consequences of people being like, hey, this is false information, flag it. Go figure. I don't know, maybe they're saying Yellow Flash isn't white. I have no idea, I've never seen Yellow Flash. Not that I would be able to tell. But yeah, they seem to be talking about Vic Mignogna. Dude went to Liberty University, like... I'll make sure to talk about this in a video. You sure are making your side look good. Because she doesn't want people to be harassed. Yellow Flash is like, oh, I'm gonna make a video about how you don't want people to get harassed. I'm so smart, I'm Yellow Flash. Like, what? Okay. Is it this one? Is it this video? So, you're basically saying, I'm going to harass you more? Interesting that she silenced after seeing the evidences? What the fuck are you talking about?
People talking about violence. They're saying, you know, talk shit, get hit. I mean, that's discussed in here.
Where? Nobody said that. I paused and read all of the things. Nobody said talk shit, get hit. Also, that's a euphemism. It doesn't mean literally. There's nobody talking about violence. The only person making a threat in what you've shown in this video so far is Yellow Flash threatening to continue harassment. And even that is like a little bit of a reach. Like, I can only make that because I know the context. Like, without the context, it's just, oh, he's gonna make a video. Ooh. But because we know the context that people are already getting harassed, talk shit, get hit. Like, it's not like, whatever. There's, where? The one at the very bottom says, would that be fair is someone does the same thing to you. Yes. If I put out false information and fake information, and I do not correct myself, or if then I make if I put out a bunch of false information about, I don't know, Aaron, let's say I took some screenshots and I'm like, look at these screenshots of Aaron, and that's like, they're clearly very much not that person and it's been exposed that it's not that person, and I don't take that video down or immediately make a correction and start blaming other people for it. No, Aaron would 100%, or Veda 100% would be in the clear to say, hey, this video is false information and it needs to be flagged. Yes, that would be 100% fair. If I made a video that was showing false information about Tug, he would 100% be in the right to flag to say, hey, this video has false information and is delegitimizing a very real concern. But the problem is Tug isn't a real person. Like, he doesn't have legitimate concerns that he's discussing. He doesn't have real issues that he's trying to mitigate or resolve. This is fake. This is all fakery. And even then, I'm showing the video. Just because you don't agree or see the same points of view does not give anyone the right to...
No, man, someone maliciously faked a Facebook account, stealing someone else's identity, used that account to make wild suggestions, and then an innocent person got harassed for it. Well, Yellow Flash said, I'd make a video about that. You sure make your side look good right there.
How does it make Kick Vic look bad by saying, this person is getting harassed due to the false information in this video needs to be flagged for the false information? Make her look bad. How? Tell Elmo.
You know, because you're talking about flagging somebody down. And it doesn't really look very good when you're talking about...
It looks fine if you have 2 brain cells.
About closing people down there. Again, you know...
Well, you skipped past that. Hold on, let me go back. Does not give anyone the right to make money on their work. This mob mentality, which you're promoting, is a dangerous tool used to commit evil in the name of good. I don't know what this person is even fucking trying to get across. The next person said, I don't know if it should necessarily be flagged since this person did admit to wanting to alter potential evidence. I'm honestly more concerned about the impersonation aspect.
It really looked very good when you're talking about...
What? It's a fake Facebook account that said they were trying to fake or alter evidence, and this YouTube video is spreading that and the person's name as though it were true. The real person with that real name didn't do it and is now suffering harassment. That is against terms of service, which means it should be flagged, which is expected. That's not a false flag. What are they talking about?
About closing people down there. Again, you know, when you're talking about sides...
I don't know anymore. I'm just so angry and shocked and confused. I just want all of this to end. If there was evidence of fake images going around in a legal case, then you would need the evidence, and then people were colluding, and there were screenshots of those people colluding. The YouTube video getting flagged or not flagged isn't going to matter. The YouTube video is not going to end up being the evidence. The evidence is going to be the initial screenshot that's being taken. So it's not like there would be some kind of legal issue that could arise in the future about this video existing or not existing, right? Because the screenshot would still exist regardless. So that would be the piece of evidence that would matter, not Yellow Flash's fucking stupid ass opinion about it. Also, this one fake account isn't admitting anything on this person's behalf, right? There's no admission there. It's evidence that there are people fucking around, and that it's evidence that Kick Vic wasn't making anything up. Again, yeah, and if the courts want the video, they can get the video. Yeah.
Here. What exactly are you trying to get done here? What?
To stop people being harassed by you and your fucking group. Like Yellow Flash, you're literally defending Yellow Flash putting out knowable fake news and people being harassed for it. And now you're signal boosting it, and you reiterated that fucking fake news. And you showed that person's name as well. So you're encouraging and engaging in the harassment that we know you already knew was happening. And you're encouraging your fan base to harass Mars Girl for something that you're pretending she did that she never did. So what about Anime News Network? They literally did lie in support of Kick Vic. No, where? What do you talk? The article that we looked at last time? Because no, they didn't. That's just something that Yellow Flash tried to pretend that they did. And that's not the case. I respectfully disagree. I think it's a bit extreme, and the flagging system on YouTube is already a misuse/abused enough. I mean, you're welcome to disagree, but that's what's in the TOS. Better to reach out to @YellowFlash and address whatever you feel he is misinformed about by presenting your evidence. Maybe if Yellow Flash was reasonable, maybe if contextually that made sense, but it doesn't contextually make sense, and it certainly doesn't contextually make sense for Mars Girl to be the one doing it. Yes, I know, I'm repeating myself. Because it's the same problem.
Are you trying to put together? I mean, again, this stuff is being talked about.
I disagree. I saw that video and nothing of what he said was shown were a lie, except it was. We already know that. New low for you, since you haven't provided this deviant art link to us all to see, even that explanations is suspect. It's in the retweet, so yes, the link is there. But you won. Funny kicked him out. Ruby kicked him out, and now he has no job or career. Oh, boo-hoo. You must be so proud. Ellipses guilty till proven innocent. Orwellian, truly. Yeah, all right. Sure. The girl's deviant art link was provided almost right away. It was one of the first things I clicked when she was retweeting those things. If you couldn't be bothered to click it yourself, it's your own fault. Yeah.
There's a discussion about what's coming up.
Can we copy strike his video? Quote, only if you agree, of course. Quote, yes, correct. Don't false flag it. If you don't agree that it's against terms of service or fake, then don't, because that would then be a false flag. Duh. Having said that, if the person in this video is indeed not the real person, but someone who stole their account or whatever, that should indeed be dealt with. Tough flagging that video, it is a bit extreme, and there are better ways to deal with that. No, there aren't. Me reading some of the replies to this tweet. I don't want to live in the world.
And, can we copyright strike this video? Only if you agree, of course. That's probably not the best.
Even if it's a fake Facebook account impersonating someone, there's not really any way the person who made that video could have known better. Yes, there is. Have known a better idea would be to encourage them to pin a comment saying the account is impersonating someone. No. This dude is slinging around SJW and NPC. His perceptive won't be changed. That's actually a really good point. He was calling victims NPCs. Again, contextually, this is what I said. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a copyright strike. It would have been a misinformation. It would have been struck for misinformation, so that's not what was said regardless. But again, contextually, Yellow Flash is not someone it would be safe for Mars Girl to talk to. Also, this is a public thing. There is no responsibility on Mars Girl's part to speak to him in private. And in fact, I would have never encouraged her to do so, even if she had asked my opinion in 2019. If she knew who I was. You know what I mean? Like, I would have never recommended doing that because Yellow Flash is not a safe person to be around. He's a rape apologist. From his first video was a rape apologist. And was already misrepresenting things that she had done. On top of that, he deserves to be publicly criticized. No? Of course he does. And you are watching a group of people discuss altering photos to frame allegations against Vic for being far worse than they are, and instead of focusing on the photoshopping of evidence, you focus on the fact that the person is using a fake account. Pathetic. No, they're talking about impersonation and pretending to be somebody. There is no discussion about photoshopped and fake stuff happening. You got that from Yellow Flash, which is why his video is problematic and needed to be flagged. Thank you for proving the point. The reason for my suggestion was an alternative to mass flagging the video, so the info about falsifying evidence could stay up. No.
Best narrative to it. Like I say, there are a lot of people
being used. How do you know it's a fake account? Trying to silence someone without any proof of your claim of it being a fake account is kind of bullshit. Don't try to silence someone because they don't agree with you. Never happened. The evidence is in the retweet. Pay fucking attention, kiddies. This is stupid. What evidence do you say that this is a fake account? If you disagree with him, just tell him you disagree. This tactic shows that you are afraid of being wrong about Vic. Read the links, you dumbasses. The evidence you provided isn't evidence at all. All it does is link to a deviant art of a girl named Valerie saying it's not her and her friends that says she wants to KYS cause saying you're suicidal instantly makes you sound innocent. What the fuck?
in here. And some of the people...
Wait a minute. Is that Munchkin? That might be Munchkin. I think that might be Munchkin. I might be wrong, but I think that might be Munchkin. I might be wrong, but I think that might be Munchkin, guys. Oh boy. Hold on, I was there. I am the bald guy in those screen caps. I'm the one who originally made those screen caps. I was not able to screen cap the entire conversation, but at no point did she claim she was trolling. Silencing an opinion you disagree with. Tactful. None of those things are happening.
When you get into some of the conversation, yeah.
What happened to you, Mars? I used to think you were really cool, damn cool. Quote, let's form a hate mob to strike this vid down. I is saying something I don't like and that won't stand. I would really like to believe you are better than this. That's not what it said. I think that, quote, this video is spreading blatant information and I don't like what is being said are two different statements. Correct. Thank you. Somebody with some fucking brain cells. We should keep in mind, though, from a devil's advocate point of view, it's feasible the claim of fake account could be a clever way of the actual account holder covering themselves in an attempt to lessen a legitimacy of the video, but I disagree with the NBC and SJW name calling. Yeah, it's getting a little conspiratorial, but sure.
Yeah, they don't particularly approach this.
By the way, I don't know if you noticed, I'm not actually listening to what's his name? Umbrella is saying right now. I'm actually just reading what he's showing on screen. You know you can just talk to him and tell him your concerns. No, you can't. You don't have to resort to abusing the flagging system. That's not abuse of the system. Just because you don't like what he said, that's not why she wants it. That's not even why she's saying it should be flagged.
This from a nice way.
Reference to her dead associate. Classy. I got you, girl. Heart emoji.
Some of these folks out here.
You're really committed to ruining an innocent man's life, aren't you? Shame. I used to admire you. He's not innocent. Quote, luckily, bigger YouTubers like The Quartering are supporting Vic, end quote. Well, that's all I needed to know about the guy who made this. Oh, The Quartering. Classic.
You know, you do have the, I got you, girl. Yeah, I'm going to go flag that down because, hey, you know, let's go out and let's...
Can we point out, like, scrolling through this, if you actually read what's being said on the screen, is justifying what Mars Girl said initially, that people are being harassed because of videos like yellow flashes. He's trying to make her think that was a her problem with the video, right? Yes, correct. Sounds odd to me. The picture that leaked said it was a private group. How did the person make a fake account to get invited to the group, which I assume they were already in on the... Oh god, people who don't know how Facebook works. Okay, moving on. Flagging campaigns is not the way.
Let's try to burn that down.
So now you're going to abuse the flagging system because someone doesn't think like you? Oh, but that happens to you NPCs then is wrong and it's censoring you, right? You're just crazy. Good thing you put this so everyone can see how you rally people into attacks. Hey, you notice what wasn't in any of these things we read? Any talk about violence towards Yellow Flash. There's no talk about... In fact, there are more tweets in favor of pushing Yellow Flash's and Tug's narrative about what Mars Girl actually said, which she did not say, in this thread than there were any criticisms towards Yellow Flash. All this does is prove her right. Alright, now I'm going to put this back and we can actually listen to what he said. I just wanted to make sure that what he was showing on screen was definitely what he said it was, right?
They didn't give a disclaimer saying, hey, that might not be the person there. I mean, is that what you want with it? And if you follow this down, of course, Yellow Flash tags in Twitter and Team YouTube, because that's pretty messed up. I mean, when you get into this kind of stuff, not only is that messed up, but you have people in this conversation that are talking about, just some crazy things. I mean, it gets into some crazy conversation. There are people talking about violence. They're saying, talk shit, get hit. I mean, that's discussed in here. No, man, someone maliciously faked a Facebook account, stealing someone else's identity, used that account to make wild suggestions, and then an innocent person got harassed for it. Well, Yellow Flash said, I'd make a video about that. You sure make your side look good right there, because you're talking about flagging somebody down. And it doesn't really look very good when you're talking about closing people down there. Again,
a false flag campaign or false, mass flag call out is report all their videos, report their channel, report this for no TOS violation reasons. Just flag anything that you can. That's a false flag call out. This is company level of gaslighting. You are 100%. That's what this is.
When you're talking about sides here, what exactly are you trying to get done here? What exactly are you trying to put together? I mean, again,
she's saying this has misinformation and it needs to be flagged to YouTube for misinformation so the information can get corrected.
Again, this stuff is being talked about. There's a discussion about what's coming up. And, can we copyright strike this video? Only if you agree, of course. That's probably not the best narrative to it. Like I say, there are a lot of people in here. And some of the people, when you get into some of the conversation, they don't particularly approach this from a nice way. Some of these folks out here, you do have the, I got you, girl.
Approach what in a nice way? What are you talking? You're just saying words. You're not actually even saying anything.
Yeah, I'm going to go flag that down because, hey, let's go out and let's try to burn that down. Let's go.
The Quartering is a Nazi, by the way, and was promoting and selling Nazi shit, so that alt-right accusation stands.
Go and flag. Let's see if we can get it done. But there are also other claims in here that, again, talk about knocking people out, It's a mess. It's a beyond.
Hey, there was a reference to Channel Awesome. Guess he's not going to cover her response to that, even though he brought it up earlier.
On a mess. And when I see that, got a mask flag since you can't be exposed, right, babe? I don't even know what that means.
Correct. That's a meaningless statement. It has nothing to do with what she actually said.
Your claims of victimhood are piss poor. What about this other account? Basically there was an account out there that was an abuser. Why didn't you go and stand up to that person? Basically it gets into all of this other stuff. And what it does is it detracts.
It's interesting that your side is the one bringing up this other shit, and then you blame Mars Girl for addressing it.
From what is truly transpiring. Because the issue here is not because Yellow Flash made a video. The issue here isn't the supposed alt-right that you're talking about here. The issue here is that there is a man out there, a guy that has allegations being levied against him. This guy, if you want to say that there are allegations and you want to listen to people, that's fine. Listen away. Hear what they're saying.
Hi, I'm here listening to what you're saying, and it's bullshit nonsense, mostly gaslighting and kind of abusive, and encouraging harassment.
But don't pretend in this that you have evidence, that you have something that would burn the man down in a court of law.
He was never charged. Vic's never been charged. Nobody said otherwise. The person who went to court was Vic. Vic took other people to court. Nobody's talking about the court of law. You're talking about the court of law. People are talking about not feeling safe around him at conventions. That's not the fucking court of law, you jackass. Stop trying to bait and switch people and force them into a conversation that they're not fucking even having.
Moreover, when you're talking about it, don't pretend, again, number one, that stuff like this doesn't exist, because that does.
They're not pretending it doesn't exist. She's calling it out as bullshit. You're the one pretending this existing means something completely different, which is the exact reason why it needed to be flagged as misinformation in the first place. You're telling everybody exactly how and why Mars Girl was correct.
There are other conversations out there. Number two, when you look at the supposed evidence that's being placed, there's a whole...
You mean the images that you showed another one? We've already seen one of Vic Mignogna. The testimonies. All those things are evidence.
Dossier of evidence. And those things go from, again, people saying, hey, when I was 14, I went up to talk to the guy and it was great. But then my 9-year-old sister came in, she froze up a little, and the guy was a complete and utter jackass. That doesn't make anything better or worse either. It doesn't say that just because...
I mean, being a random jackass to some 14-year-old's younger sister does kind of make you look like a jackass. It might mean people might not want to work with you. It's not going to send you to jail.
Because he's rude, and just because he's obnoxious, that he is a monster and a victimizer. And saying that and challenging that idea does not make you a Nazi. It does not make you alt-right. Saying that you can't burn people's...
Was he talking about clowns earlier and big tops and backflips and mental gymnastics? Because I think that's where we're living right now.
Lives down because of that. And you can't...
Change.org petition for Tug to change his name to Flying Grayson. But all of the pictures of Nightwing need to be Dick Grayson from All-Star Batman and Robin, and he needs clown makeup and a nose.
Can't ruin livelihood, and these kind of actions, they're wrong. And
literally nothing that he showed on screen showed Mars Girl saying any of these things. In fact, it's saying the opposite. It's saying that alt-writers are supporting Vic and he should call that out. Not, you're an alt-writer because you support Vic. He is presenting what she's saying, then flipping it the other way around. This is gaslighting and Darvo, because he's trying to also present that Mars Girl is harassing people while showing on screen that she's the one being harassed. By people like Tug, by people who support Yellow Flash, by the quartering, who is a Nazi.
And this is wrong. You have your own channels there. This stuff is wrong. Saying that is not bad. There is nothing.
Yet spreading misinformation is bad. Sorry, no.
Thing negative in there. Nobody, again, is going out and harassing people in a dangerous manner.
You literally just showed that happening. Yes, it is. It got worse. The quartering is a Nazi. For anybody who doesn't know, the quartering, it's another one of these types of guys. We've talked about him before. He was selling Nazi propaganda on his store that he was selling to his audience. I've got another video about that if you're curious.
Manner bringing that up. This stuff,
I'm sure we'll get to talking about what he did. Yeah, Gamergate and yes, they're all part of the same old group. We'll probably end up talking the quartering and seeing what he said about this at some point, but just not today.
Enter back and forth. That, of course, it will build Twitter. It will actually get you more followers. But again, what's the cost? What exactly are you doing? Because you're not just trying to ruin one person in that. You're trying to slander multiple people with, again, labels that not only say that you're a Nazi, but allow violence against people. And for what? For what exactly? How can you say?
How is Mars Girl saying someone's being harassed due to this video and the misinformation in it, and it should be false flag because it's against TOS, is equal to her burning other people? How is that her being violent or encouraging violence at all? Surprise, it's not. The only person encouraging violence in this video is the Yellow Flash and that Umbrella Guy.
That people are being harassed. When you put that out there, knowing...
When you show harassment on screen and then say it's not harassment, while also saying that if someone came after you like this, that you would go after them and burn their livelihood to the ground, you are telling your fan base that it is okay to harass people and burn their livelihood to the ground, and then you're showing people from your fan base doing that, defenders of Yellow Flash, who are part of your fan base, you're harassing people and enabling harassment. You're saying that that is okay. Not only is that okay, but you would do it. That's a harassment campaign. That's mob mentality. That's getting your torches and pitchforks and trying to burn Mars Girl to the ground because you don't like that what she's saying works against you. She's calling you out for wrong behavior. That wrong behavior being a fucking Nazi and harassing people. You want to silence her via harassment because you don't like her criticism. You haven't addressed a damn thing. You haven't actually presented any fucking evidence. You've actually presented evidence that is the opposite. The screenshots that you're presenting are not what you say they are, or do not lead to the conclusion that you're pretending that they do. You're just banking on your audience being a fucking bunch of idiots who you've already got riled up so they can go and harass people on your behalf, which is exactly the same thing Vic Mignogna does. It's exactly the fucking thing that Mars Girl is calling out here, and is exactly the reason why you're just showing that she was right the whole time. This video is from 5 years ago.
Current year, what kind of accusation you're levying. So anyway, people, tell me what you think about this stuff. If you like this kind of content...
See, look, and you can't even get mad at me for this video because he asked me to tell him what I thought about it. That's what I think about it. I think you're just as culpable in the harassment, you're just as responsible, and I think that you need to take responsibility for that and actually address it. Nothing that you present in this video is even remotely accurate.
Sub to this channel, help this sucker grow. Also, like what you like. Don't like a video if you don't. Leave comments because I want to know exactly what you think. I do actually read comments there.
People to this day believe that Mars Girl has attacked Vic Mignogna and said and done things to Vic Mignogna that she in no way has actually done. All she said was, hey, maybe Funimation should take a look at these accusations, and also faking evidence and impersonating people is bullshit, and if you're spreading that, you're an asshole, and hey, if Vic Mignogna's a good guy and doesn't want people being harassed, maybe he should call out people defending him who are alt-righters that are doing this and are harassing people and are dangerous people. And that would be to Vic Mignogna's benefit. Wow, it's almost like Mars Girl was right the whole fucking time. And it was just these fucking people with larger platforms collectively than the presence she had harassed her and riled people up to harass her on behalf of Vic Mignogna for money. The people who had a dog in the fight, a financial dog in the fight. Weird. Go figure. Who'd have thought? I think I've got one or two more guys we're going to look at after this, and then we're going to start looking at like a midway video, because this is where it started. So I want to see like how it got bigger. You can already see how this gaslighting and this misrepresentation is already blowing this situation up and turning it into something it's not, with this amount of just misrepresentation, right? Where, oh, Mars Girl's harassing people and trying to shut people down when all she's doing is, this is false information and needs to be dealt with. They agree that it's fake information and then pretend it's something it's not. So I imagine this is only going to get worse. It's only going to escalate. And then I think I'm probably going to take after that, I think I might take a look at any of the videos specifically about Mars Girl that they've made, because these are only the Vic specific ones. This is like laying the foundation. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. Tomorrow, more Project 2025. Let's fucking go. And then on Thursday, it'll be JD Vance. On Friday, will be Dumbfuck Friday. And that's all I got planned. Tune in for a philosophy show. First Saturday of the month. The Tavern, which is our newsy type stuff and show, will be at the end of the month, the last Saturday of the month, so I'll see you for that. And I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go play Mert Mart, because Mert Mart makes me happy. If you want to get caught up on my Mert Mart journey, which is just me playing a game and spazzing out constantly, that comes out on the weekends. So there's 2 videos, I think, out right now that you can go and watch if you want. They're like 2 hours a piece. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much. Everybody go and attack Mars Girl on Twitter. With the hashtag Mars Girl was right. Don't bother her. I'm sure like with all the shit that's gone on with this, surely she just doesn't want to have to talk about this anymore. I assume that's an assumption on my part. I don't actually know. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Have a good day, everybody. I'll see you on Twitch. Thanks for coming by, Peyton. I appreciate you guys swinging on by. It was nice to see a couple of new faces. Hi, welcome. This is what it's like here. If you want to join me on Twitch, links down below. I'm actually an artist. Actually, I do art. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.